Hello everyone, it's me again. We are on the surface of the moon, as you see another video of space engineers. And I'd like to introduce you to my latest fighter craft. This one is obviously inspired by the UFOs that you see in fiction. Most predominantly... Actually, the film I was thinking of, come on, it's been forgotten, never mind. This one is a medium to late stage game type of build. It is powered entirely by hydrogen thrusters. It is atmospheric friendly, thankfully. And a unique feature is that it has no landing gear aside from these leg-based ones, because I wanted to keep with the traditional flying saucer look. For armaments, it has 4 gatling guns on the roof of the saucer, 1 missile system on the roof, and underneath you'll see the main armaments. Hang on. 4 custom-made heavy gatling gun turrets. Each one is made of 10 gatling guns, all rigged to fire at once, and all rigged to fire on their own. This saucer is built to be a fighter, as I said previously, but given the space underneath, you can modify it using merge blocks to be a sort of bomber if you need to. But given the risk that if one blows, it could potentially take out the ship, it is not a good idea. Now, just a quick note, most of the fuel tanks are small ones, and they're rigged around inside the disc of the ship, with one large fuel tank in the center. To access the ship, you just push this button to get in, or get out. Open like this. Climb in. Hit that button to shut the door. Hit that. Now this is the depressurization room. Allows to keep the air in the ship if you need to. Now this ship can carry around 8 people, but if you need to, you can cram in more seats. So it also functions as a troop transport ship. Over here we have a survival kit. This will function as the respawn area should any of your teammates get killed. This area is completely sealed off from the lower halves, minimizing any chance of damage to the pilot should they become incapacitated. Now there are 2 seats for control, pilot and co-pilot. That way if one of these gets destroyed, the other person can take over. Now, to take off, simply engage thrusters. And if you'll notice, just hit the 7 and 8 button. 8 first, and then 7. The landing gear completely retracts, making it look almost perfectly like a flying saucer from those old TV shows and movies you see. For propulsion on the inside, the disc also houses several thrusters to allow going in any direction you need to. This is mainly just to keep the theme of the flying saucer. All of them are perfectly far away enough to minimize any damage to the engine should they get damaged by the heat, or God forbid should the fuel tanks catch fire. Just a quick little spin around. It does mean, however, that the ship does not turn on a dime very easily. But other than that, she is a pretty good fighting ship. Like most of my creations, the connector block is on the top of the ship to allow any ship to connect to it. I know some people put it on the back or the front, but the top for me looks nice, and also allows you to connect to any of my other creations, so long as there's space for it. Where's the space safe zone? Like I said, most of the turrets are rigged to fire automatically, so pilots, all they have to do is focus on the fight and staying close to or as far away from the enemy as they need to. But if you need to, let me just move over here. The co-pilot can activate all the guns if you need to. Now for a demonstration, if you'll give me a moment. That should float in the air for a bit. Like I said earlier, this ship is atmospheric friendly, so you can take it from the moon to the Earth with no issue. And there should be enough oxygen tanks built in so you could easily go to Mars or one of the further planets. As for weapons demonstration, let's spawn my favorite little test toy. This is the Mark II flying saucer. This is more for a smaller fighter model. My apologies if you can hear that funny squeaking noise. I appear to have a neighbor parking his car. Now, this thing is not as armed as the other ship, as you can see. But it does pack a punch and it is more armored. So it should be interesting. But for a quick demonstration on what the gun can do on its own, just copying it over here. We'll conduct a small demonstration on what those custom turrets can do. In a second. Pull these up. Tricky bit is trying to figure out which one is the one you want to point your gun at. The downside to this much firepower is that there is a limit as to how the angle of attack is. But the amount of firepower you can deliver to an enemy. Considering all four of these turrets would be open, that ship would be in pieces easily. Let's just go and take the damage. And if you're wondering what the merge blocks are on the ship exactly are for, to design the ring of the ship perfectly, I copied and pasted it and to create a ring around it. The sphere needed work, obviously, but aside from that, I think it did pretty well. There it is. As you can see, aside from the ion thrusters, which will fire even if there's a battery glued to it, this thing is a wreck. It is not going anywhere. See? Nothing. All the fuel tanks exploded. Something's sparking. And what little remaining of the fuel tanks are is just not enough to get this thing back in the air. Now for a proper demonstration. Let's park this thing here. 3 versus 1, folks. Let's convert this. Actually, let's just quickly save before we go any further. And let's convert this to a pirate ship so that the turret automatically attack. why I stopped using this ship. There's always one button. We'll just constantly fire even though something is not right. I think it's because I linked it up to this and it's still trying to kill that. But as you can see, it took 3 ships to cripple it. There you go. Now there it is. And even then, it's still flyable. It's still in the air. But remember, folks, this thing has no atmospheric or hydrogen or ion thrusters. This thing's purely hydrogen. You duct tape a control seat back into this thing and still fly it. This thing even working? Nope, it didn't work. But there you have it, folks. This thing took a beating and it still is airborne. But bear in mind, that thing was just standing there, parked, while I was moving around, and the other 2 were just still beating it with constant missiles. Alright, reload the game, and let's see. One final feature that I put into this. If you've watched enough of my videos, you know exactly what this feature is. Hang on, just... Alright, we're back. Let's just get rid of these. back in here. Now, as I said before, this ship is a fighter, and it also can double as a troop transporter. As such, if it is on the ground in enemy territory, it is preferable that this ship not be captured by the enemy. To prevent capture, this ship is armed with a self-destruct mechanism. To activate, just simply push this. Usually you leave, but I want to show you what happens first. That flicks on, that makes a noise, and you have 30 seconds to get the hell out before this entire ship blows up. I reason 30 seconds would be enough to get you as far away as you need to. But as now, all the warheads are armed and are counting down. Weird bug that is, I got a double explosion. As you can see, the warheads detonate and takes pretty much everything with it. At best, you're left with a ring and some resources to harvest. And maybe a bit of a piston. And there we... Oh, what's that like? There we have it, folks. My new and improved flying saucer, complete with retractable landing gear and a boatload of firepower. I will try to upload more frequently, but sometimes these projects take a little bit longer. I tried installing actual landing gear on this thing and Clang didn't like it. It sent my ship to orbit without me in it. But without further ado, be sure to like, subscribe. There should be a link for the build in the description below. If not, I do apologize in advance. Until then, see you next time.